What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. It is Monday, July 28th, day number 21 inside the Big Brother house. Vince has eyes all over him, and Lauren's indecisions continue to spin the house in circles. Is it time for a big move? But who really is running the house? Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Speaking of, you guys crushed the like goal from yesterday's update. We did do a live watch party for the episode last night. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys were able to make it out. But to give you a little recap, if you haven't been keeping up with everything going on the feeds, Lauren won HOH, nominating Keanu, Kelly, and Will. Keanu, though, wins the power of veto, meaning once again, Lauren has to suffer through making decisions in this game. Morgan started the day off, though, yesterday, kind of telling Vince that Zach's been a little bit off with her recently. And she said, maybe, he's just so mad that I've been pushing Ashley to stay off the block, but he's not really talking to me that much, and we're supposed to be a team, right? Like, shouldn't we be checking in with each other? And, it's kind of one of those things where Vince kind of defends him a little bit, and they continue talking about, trying to get into Lauren's ear to make sure that they can keep Ashley off the block, but Vince kind of pushes back, and he's like, I really think Zach and Catherine are the ones that are a little bit closer to her than he is. And it's like, come on, Vince. At this point, that ship has sailed, buddy. Almost everybody is on to Vince at this point, whether it was just Rachel pushing him as hard as it was, or them comparing notes, or just kind of observing his convos with Lauren. He's happened to have a lot of them this week. The thing is, though, a lot of people see him as running the house. I don't actually see it that way. I don't see him as running her HOH. If he was fully running this HOH, Ashley would already be up on the block. She would have been up way before Will was up on the block. But that's not what we had happen. She ended up going with Will because she's, at the end of the day, running her HOH. Even now, we're going to get into it more about her decisions. People are trying to get into her ear, but she's just not making the decisions, and she actually isn't letting anyone even make the decisions. But there are also a lot of people that are saying like, oh, well, you shouldn't put this person up, but they're not giving her anything in return either. So I can see where it's been a little bit hard for her, but it is so early in the game, and if you can't make these decisions now, you really need to start worrying, because it only gets harder from here. We did end up getting Lauren and Rachel having a convo where she tries to push her agenda. Lauren cried to her, saying she just wishes somebody would tell her what to do. But Rachel, she did boost her up a little bit, saying like, you're a strong woman. Like, you don't need anybody telling you what to do, especially someone in their 30s who's unemployed. Basically, Vince. And she also pushed for Ashley not to be the renom. Vince and Lauren actually then met up just after Rachel, and Lauren had a great line. She's like, I just talked to Rachel, so I have approximately 5 minutes until Ashley's up here. She also said, like, Rachel keeps pushing this idea that, like, I don't want anybody else playing your game for you. But then at the same time, she's like, I don't think putting Ashley up is good for your game. So it's a little weird from Lauren here, too, as well. Like I said, people are like giving her things, but then they're also telling her like not to let people run their things. And I think she's just lost in this loop in her own head on how to actually make the right move here. But I do think she has that lean to Ashley as they continue talking. Lauren says that, Rachel actually thinks, Lauren thinks that Rachel is really going to be gunning for Vince. She tells him about, the stuff that she's saying with him running her HOH. And Vince kind of is like, did she actually say like she's going to target me? She's like, well, not exactly, but it's kind of inferred. And Lauren does say, she's like, I really think I just have to go with Ashley as the nominee. And they both just agree that Rachel really scares them in the game. So they have to do something to kind of weaken that a little bit. And Lauren also said she does now think that Mickey does have that third power. A lot of people are very suspicious of Mickey for having that. Now, Lauren being another one who is back up there. But one of the things they are worried about is, and I think this is another thing that's kind of messing with Lauren's head, is if she puts up Ashley and Mickey has this third power, that's also some sort of veto, since the other two were veto powers, that could make even worse for Lauren, because now all of her game is exposed if she puts up Ashley, and then oh, guess what? She gets to come right back down anyway, and then she's forced to put Adrian or something like that up, which she could have done also. But they do both agree that, you know what, Ava is also kind of really well positioned in the house. Everyone likes her, and her name never comes up on the block. So maybe that's somebody that they should actually watch out for as well. Lauren then later had a conversation with Catherine, and she's just like, I'm effed. Like I don't know what I can do. And Catherine brings up a point here that, you know what? These same people are being nominated over and over again. And at this point, they're kind of just building their resumes up. Kelly and Keanu both have 2 comp wins now under their belt on their resume. So, like, you know, that's a thing. Will also could potentially start making a case for surviving the block week after week. And to be honest, right, she's making a point, and maybe it can sway Lauren here and there, you know, in the long run. But I don't actually think it matters that much at the end of the day with the resume. A lot of people talk about resume building and like you should do this and that. But at the end of the day, it really only matters if that final vote ends up being a toss up somehow, right? If both people at the end have very similar connections in the jury, and it's really kind of a 50-50 on who they would actually vote for because they like them both just as much, then maybe the resume comes into play. And as much as we would love to say like, oh yeah, you know, winning this many comps or doing this thing in the game or getting this person out in the game, it's going to be the thing that puts me over. Usually it's not. It's always about the connections you have with the jury, and are they somebody that they want to vote for as the winner. So usually the resumes don't actually matter that much, but this could be a point maybe again that could sway Lauren in one way or another. Another really interesting thing here, and Keanu has kind of an out for her. Keanu told Lauren, like, listen, I've heard people saying, you know, that, you know, Ashley is the renom, but it was Keanu's idea. And he said, listen, if I can take the blame for it for you, if that's what you want to do, I'll do it, right? Tell everyone that we had this pre-veto deal that if I win the veto, I get to choose the renom, and I'll keep you safe in the next week, and you don't have to worry about it. And she's like, all right, I'll think about it. She doesn't give him like an actual, you know, definitive answer, but she should just take this, you know, right away. Still didn't give him an answer even all the way towards the end of the night. He later actually went to talk to her, and she's like, look, you know, have you thought about it, right? Like, are you thinking about it? And she's like, I just still don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And he's like, listen, whatever you decide, just let me know. So like, hey, tomorrow during the veto meeting, like I could say something, and then that covers you even more. So it can be kind of a thing. Here's the thing though with Keanu, he also really trusts Jimmy and Rachel. Somehow he's gotten it into his head that they're actually still on his side. And even though they bicker and fight back and forth, like him and Rachel, they're like brother and sister, and they still love each other. It's a thing. That's Keanu for you. Ava, I mentioned her a little bit earlier as someone that Lauren and Vince were saying was in a really good position. But she had a conversation with Lauren, and she was saying like, listen, if I were you, like, I don't know, I wouldn't put up either of them. And Lauren's like, all right, well, who would you put up? And she's like, well, I'm not going to tell you, but it's someone that I view as a big threat. And you have a chance right now to make a big move in this game. So do it. Man, if this like wasn't the perfect opportunity for Lauren to just be like, you know what? Fine. Nobody wants Adrian up. Nobody wants Ashley up. Let me do something big. Let me throw Rachel up. Heck, let me just throw Ava up, right? Like, who's really going to be that upset if Ava goes up right now? They all like her, but nobody necessarily is really pushing for her that much. And they probably would be less upset than Ashley or Adrian going up at the moment. So, like, I feel like this was almost her perfect chance. If Lauren really was this huge fan that she says she is, she should take this opportunity, use the Keanu deal, use this new thing that Ava's here where she's not telling you who she would put up, telling you that she doesn't trust you in this game. If they won't tell you who they would put up, it means they don't trust you. Put Ava up on the block. Do something, Lauren. Do something. Adrian actually ends up telling me, he's like, listen, I don't think Ashley's the head of the snake, but I do think she's part of the snake. And if we can take out the tail, it gets a lot shorter and we can make moves quicker. They also talk about, Vince and him, doing a lot of stuff. He was sketchy the other night and how they feel about him. But really just in general, just another conversation where it was a strong bond from Adrian and Kelly, and Adrian still being worried that he's potentially going up on the block. Zach also continues to throw Morgan, Rachel, Mickey, Ashley, everybody again from that side under the bus, telling Adrian that they were making a point, right, to stay up real late just to watch Adrian, and he's going up and talking to Lauren, right? So if they see him doing this all the time, they're going to start thinking that Adrian is getting into Lauren's ear, or they're working together, or whatever it is. Adrian also, though, tells Zach, like, hey, you know what? I'd be mad if I go up. But Adrian had mentioned before that Mickey was throwing Morgan, Zach, and Vince out as this trio to Zach. And later, Zach gives that information to Morgan and Vince. They're having a conversation. And Zach is like, yeah, you know what? Like, what are we really feeling about Mickey? Like, are you cool with her? Because here's the thing. I just heard from Adrian that she's been throwing our name around as this trio. Morgan and Vince do not buy it off the bat. They're like, what are you talking about? But here's the thing. Mickey did say this to Adrian. This is actual real information that Adrian got from Mickey, gave to Zach. And now Zach has shared it with Morgan, but she doesn't believe it. Vince didn't believe it, but Zach did kind of inform him later, like, yeah, this is true. Also, by the way, Mickey was warned not to tell Adrian, but she still did. Lauren ends up having a convo with Zach before she ends up heading to sleep for the night. And she's still 50-50, right? She earlier was leaning Ashley, told Vince this, but now she's 50-50 again. And Zach's like, all right, what changed? What's going on? And she's really down to this idea that she's like, hey, I can buy 3 weeks of safety with the girls, or I can go with the other side, battle it out, and put Ashley up. Zach pushes like, really, you can't trust any deal that someone's just making with you now because you're in power, because you don't know if it's a real deal or if it's just one that you have because you are in power. And as soon as you don't have it, it's not any good. But there is the other side. You've made connections with them before you had power. It should be kind of a clear decision. But at the end of the day, it's her decision. Zach then leaves. She was getting really tired. She's just been kind of over these conversations. And he does go in and fill in Vince and Morgan that, you know what? She's still 50-50 at this point. Morgan's still pushing, though, that, hey, we got to make sure that Ashley doesn't go up on the block. And she doesn't realize that that is not what Zach and Vince want, but she continues to push that idea. Zach and Vince also chatted late into the night, talking about all different kinds of stuff during the game. Again, Zach tells Vince that, yeah, that Mickey stuff from Adrian is true, and they go over wanting to keep Kelly in the game as much as they can, which is why Adrian can't go up. But they said they've been at odds with Morgan for so long. Like, what do they do to really... Can they even get on the same page with her moving forward to this? They really got to watch out for everything that's going on there. Adrian actually ends up joining them for a little bit, and he says, like, oh, I can't sleep. I was going to see if I can talk to Lauren, but they tell her, like, yeah, we think she actually went to bed, and it's still looking like it's 50-50. She hasn't made her decision yet. Adrian then heads to the backyard where he has a kind of a little mini breakdown with Ava and Riley, who were sitting by the hot tub just kind of chatting about life. Eventually, though, they head on inside, but Riley joins Zach and Vince, who continue to talk about game, kind of running over numbers, making sure that they get Ashley out this week, and then they can move forward and just start picking people off from that other side. So it's one of those things where right now, Lauren has not made her decision on who she will put up on the block. Will it be Ashley? Will it be Adrian? Does she just change things up and make a big move? I think at this point, Lauren, this is when you got to say, like, look, if I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, you know what? Let's just shake things up and put somebody up that nobody's expecting. and just blow things up, right? Do something crazy with it. But at the end of the day, it is looking like Lauren is still looking between those two, but has not made her decision. So we're gonna have to see today during the veto ceremony what that will actually be. And what do you guys think she actually should do? Should she put up Adrian? Should she put up Ashley? I think myself, I lean towards she should put up Ashley, not only because I think it's the best move for her game, but also it's what she wanted to do the moment she won. The first conversation she had with Vince, she said, yeah, probably Ashley, and I'd be happy to see Ashley go. And it just do it. Just do it. Stop messing around and causing yourself to get an ulcer. Just do it. Just get it over with. There's no reason not to do it at this point, because even if you don't do it, she already knows she was an option. She already knows. You were already going to be part of, the people they might nominate anyway, because they might go after just Catherine Riley and you'd be the third nominee. So at this point, just get it done and do it. Stop with all these games of should I or shouldn't I? And I'm scared to do this. I'm scared to do that. What if they have a power? All right, yeah, what if they do have a power? So do something crazy then. Just go for it. But we will have to see how that all plays out. We can take another look here at our allegiance chart just to kind of get a view of how the house is breaking out right now. And again, you can kind of see where the numbers are right now. If Lauren puts up Adrian, that's only taking somebody away from the side that she leans on more, right? She's really not connected with those girls. She's connected with everybody else who's on the other side, except for Keanu. He's just there as a number. Nobody's really connected with him, even though he thinks he's with everybody. She actually has a pretty decent relationship with Kelly, and she does want to make sure that Kelly stays, which is another thing that Zach and Vince are kind of pushing, that like, hey, if you want Kelly to stay, don't put Adrian up. That's your best chance to go, because the pitch to put Adrian up is that he can beat Kelly in the blockbuster. At the same time, everybody else on the other side is with Ashley more than they would be with her. Ava and Will are people that you probably still could push more towards the middle, but it feels like more and more every day that even Ava and Will are starting to kind of distance from each other. I used to see those two together all the time. So unless at some point they made an active decision to stop hanging out as much as they were, I'm seeing them two kind of drift apart. And Ava, I feel like, is actually kind of someone who is starting to find herself in that kind of perfect middle spot where you're not too high up on the board where people are looking at you. You're not down low where you're looked at as a nominee, but you're not tied to either side of the house with full-on locked-in deals. So you can just actually do the full-on floater game and go where the power is. Vince, also somebody that probably should be knocked down a peg as people are starting to really catch on to everything he's doing in the game. Zach is still kind of getting away with things kind of scot-free. I don't know how they see Vince so clearly, but Zach is just completely not seen by a lot of these people, other than the fact that he has that 10K prize money, which they just think is prize money. Here, it's a full-on power. So we'll see if that ends up coming to play as a reason to put him up on the block at some point. Over on the other side, with the girls, here's the thing with Mickey. A lot of people are suspicious that she has the power. So it's one of those things at this point, even if someone on the other side wins HOH, she can't use her power because they're more than likely just going to guess her because so many of them think it's her. Plus, you can really start to just kind of knock down the numbers on who potentially it could be, and you end up getting at least a 50-50. And if people start thinking, yeah, it probably is Mickey or Morgan, they're going to go with Mickey because they've already suspected that it is her because she feels so comfortable in this game. On top of that, Morgan even dropped a little thing to Vince and Zach saying like, yeah, if you found out that Mickey had a power, would you feel some type of way? Which to me, again, would be one of those red lights going off in my head as soon as somebody would say that. It's like, oh, you know something because Mickey told you. And now you're trying to gauge my reaction on if she would use that power and I didn't know. Got it. That's going to, be put in my notes in the back of my head. So there's a lot going on as far as all the different dynamics in the house. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this goes. We can do a little bit of speculation on potential votes. I do think that if Ashley were to go up on the block, she would probably go home against Will. She would also probably go home against Kelly. If Adrian went up on the block, that's where, things might start to get a little bit more hairy. You would then have probably Zach, Vince, Catherine, Riley, Keanu as votes to keep Adrian. Over on the other side, you would have Mickey, Rachel, Morgan, Jimmy, Ashley, and then Ava, which wouldn't be enough to keep Adrian, so he would probably end up leaving in that one. And then if it was Adrian versus Kelly, that's another one where I think it almost could end up being a little bit of split, but a lot of more people would trust into Adrian than they do trust into Kelly. The whole other side of the house would probably vote for Kelly to leave. So that would be a situation where Adrian versus Kelly, Kelly probably leaves. Adrian versus Will probably leaves. If it was Will versus Kelly, Kelly would probably leave as well in that situation. But even then, there may be a chance that you could swing a couple of votes, but I just don't see it happening. Even with you would have like Adrian's vote coming on there as well. I just think it's too much to really overcome. And then, Kelly and Adrian would both go against Will. Whereas if you put Ashley up, she's more than likely going to leave if she doesn't win that blockbuster. So again, it does kind of add to your decision here of Lauren. If she's really thinking this through, do you want to put somebody up on the block that has a chance to come back in like Adrian? Or would you rather put somebody up on the block like Ashley, who, if she were to lose that blockbuster, would be the one to leave? I would lean towards that one, since then you don't have to worry about it afterwards. But what are you guys thinking? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, smash that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all of my socials, description down below, pin comment. You can check out things like Twitter. You can check out Discord. You can also check out things like the Ori Fund. Help support Oris everywhere. Never required, always appreciated. Easiest way to support this stream, just hit that like button. Put a little comment down below. Lets YouTube know what we're doing here is a good time. Thank you guys all once again for joining me. And I will see you tomorrow.
It's not the goddamn electric chair.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're not sending anybody to fucking death.
Yeah.
Goddamn game.
Keanu.